Hello and welcome, me, Phyllis Brown. It's been a long time since I've been on YouTube coming to you live. And I thought I would come to you live because I met two really interesting ladies yesterday. And they've just had a series of really unexpected and, in some aspects, really quite tragic events this year. And they're at that stage where they're asking questions of, well, is it me? What are we doing wrong? What is this year all about? And I feel that that's been the theme for this year. It's been a really difficult, stressful year. So I wanted to just discuss a little bit about my understanding of the energy for this year, because I haven't come unscathed either. I've had to deal with my own dilemmas as they've come up. And so in February, we started the shift of the energy of the year. And so for me, when the Chinese New Year comes in, it brings in an animal and it brings in an element. And so for this year, we have been working with the element of earth, and we have been working with the animal symbol of the rabbit. So let's look at earth as a symbol. So in my January newsletter, I did sort of say to people, shifting sands, we might think that we've found a foundation, and then bam, that earth energy shifts us and we have to reestablish new foundations. And in fact, the whole year has been like that, where we felt that we have found our feet and found what we want to do, and we go, yes, I'm here. And then something will come along that will just shift us off to the side. We go, wow, didn't see that coming. What was that all about? And with the whole aspect of the sand as an element, we need to look at what sand is. And so sand can be rock hard and concrete. So you're standing on solid ground. And for some people, especially those who have got earth as their birth element, they've loved this year. They've absolutely loved it. In fact, I met someone who is of an earth element, and he's had an amazing year, loved every aspect of it, and felt really grounded by what's been going on. So for those of you who have found solid ground, perfect, absolutely perfect. Some of us have found that we've been on quicksand, and we're sinking, and we don't know how to get to the top. And we're sinking, or we're stuck. We know we need to make changes. We don't know how to make changes. We don't know when to make changes. I've had a lot of that this year. I'm stuck and I'm lost. I feel really lost and I'm stuck. And that's that quicksand feeling. We can see where we might want to be. We don't know how to get there. And then we've got the sand dunes that just keep reshaping and shifting and moving. And so for some of us, this year in particular, circumstances have constantly changed, shifted. We've had events shifting in our life. We've even had some tragic events in our life that we didn't see coming. So the earth energy has been really difficult, I feel, for the mass population. And we only have to look at the global picture. We look at the global picture of where deals are being struck and trade aspects are being struck. And then, well, actually, we'll just flip the lid on that. And actually, we're not going to do that. Shifting sands. We look at people marching and telling the government, the public servants, they are our public servants, well, actually, we're not happy with all these tariffs and these extra taxes that we're having to pay. So they're shifting, they're creating change. So the governments are thinking, well, we're on solid ground here, and we're going to give this, and we're going to do that, and we're going to do that. And then no, the public have gone, actually, no, we're not going to do that. We're not going to have that process in our life. The sands are shifting. In the earth energy, and it's coupled with a fire element as well. So it's a fire earth year. Absolutely, we've seen devastating fires, devastating earthquakes, devastating landslides, mudslides, eruptions, volcanic action. And that's Mother Earth, that earth energy showing us the different power, the power that Earth has to impact us on a daily basis. So my thoughts and my words for you is we still have the rest of December, we've got January and nearly the whole of February before we move into the new Chinese year. So I want you to think about, well, what are your foundations that you've set? What is it that you want to start to lay those foundations for? Be really firm so that as we move into February, then we've got that firmer ground, Now, it's still earth energy for next year. So we've got a double whammy. But if you've actually taken on board some of those really tough lessons this year, and if you've managed to cope and adapt and change and get out of that quicksand, you've saved yourself, you've applied new ways of working. I know I have on a personal level. I know we have as a family changed our thinking. So we're all feeling a bit more confident about next year. We've got a massive house move and 2 businesses to move next year. So we're definitely going into brand new foundations, a new home, a new location, new energy. So we're still working through that earth energy, and we're hoping that where we're going is absolutely the right place. It feels right, I have to say. It really does feel right. So we've got that still coming through. But the animal for this year has been interesting, and it's the rabbit. And rabbits are prey animals. They're extremely nervous, high anxiety. They do breed prolifically. So we've got to look at those aspects of the rabbit. Have you had a year in which you've been quite anxious and quite fretful or quite worried, where you've really struggled with finding your own inner self, confidence, self-esteem, self-awareness, self-understand, self-knowing, owning yourself? Because that's a rabbit. We just need to look at a rabbit and how they move and how they function on a day-to-day process. They're constantly looking out for the next danger, the next threat, the next process that's going to impact their life and threaten their life. And we have a garden full of rabbits. And these rabbits, we just need to watch. We just need to look out our window. We can see how they're moving. We're seeing those quick movements. And again, that's been part of the emotional and mental responses for this year. So we've all been working with the rabbit along with the earth energy. And it's almost like a double whammy. Not only have we thought we've gone firm ground and it's shifting, but we then bring up a sense of fear and a sense of fretfulness and a sense of insecurity. Next year, late February, and I'll do a forecast for next year on YouTube. So next year, it is about sort of feeding from the trough, because the animal is the pig, and the pig is a lucky animal. A pig is resilient, and they're strong, and they're prosperous, and they feed at the trough of their success. We can feed too much, a little bit of gluttony in there. So we've got to be sure that we're not overindulging in the new year as we come into March and April. But we'll still have that earth energy. So it's a really important time to really think about, it's been a hard year, and it's been an emotional year, and for some people it's been a traumatic year. However, it's time to really, really make those changes. If you can, you still have time. January the 1st is not the start of your new year. It is the start of the Roman calendar. But energy-wise, we cycle a different cycle. So from an energy perspective, our new year is at the end of February. So you still have time through this month, through January, and through the most part of February to create the changes that are going to give you that really solid foundation, give you that space that makes you feel well and makes you feel safe because we should be feeding at the trough of our success next year, even though it's still an earth energy. And hopefully with this little video, it's maybe giving you food for thought. It's giving you an aspect or a perspective of what's available to you and what could be coming up for you and how you can change. I feel for me, I've had lots of shifts and changes, and one of the shifts is how I'm working. So, using lots of the digital world now so people can book online. So, book online for a session. You can pay online. So, you just use your credit card details there. But also going back to some of my roots. Because one of the passions and how I started in the psychic world was with tarot. And I was 13 when I started reading tarot. And I'm really, really passionate about tarot and about the insights that it can give. So I'm sort of bringing forward a heart and soul 12-month forecast for next year. If you found this year really difficult, and if you found the energy really difficult to deal with, then maybe a tarot forecast, giving you the significant energy for each month, relating the months to each other, giving you a forecast of what could be happening and the things you have to look out for. The book or the tarot that I'm using are the Gilded Tarot. It's a beautiful tarot. One of the first tarots I bought when I came here. It's not my original tarot, which is the Thoth cards by Aleister Crowley. But for the 12-month forecast, I'll be using this particular deck. And the card for today that I've chosen, I've done a little Instagram video on this one, is the Four of Cups. And so the Four of Cups is the card of the dreamer, the fanciful person that gets easily distracted. As you can see, we've got 3 cups at the bottom here. So we've got some grounding there, but they're being distracted and they're looking for what may or may not occur. They're looking at the dream world, what they would love to happen, what they feel that would happen. Or are they a perfectionist? Are they looking at what they've got and thinking, no, it's not good enough, it's not good enough. I've got to strive for perfection. What this card tells me is that we all seek perfection, and sometimes we actually have perfection and we don't recognize it. So maybe this is an opportunity for you to bring your focus back in and look at what you do have, look at what you could be grateful for, and expand on that rather than seeking the next best thing, the next big thing, the next money maker. What have you got right now that is supporting you and helping support you? That's the key process. So that's just a little thought for today, a little process for you to look at. So thinking about the earth energy, reflect on where you've been. Does that make sense? Has that been helpful? It isn't you. You're not doing anything wrong. It is just the planetary energies that are out there for us at the moment. Just remember, we've got earth energy again next year, so be prepared. You've got to get those foundations ready. And if you would like to know what the next year is all about, then give me a buzz. Click on the link within the newsletter. Or hopefully I'll be able to put a link into the video stream here. And we'll see you for your 12-month forecast and in the new year. Take care for now. It's Phyllis Brown from the Phoenix Light Foundation. Bye for now.